Good morning. Good morning. I am so excited to be here this morning. So, as you arrive, make sure that you say hello in the comments and let me know that you're here. And because if you don't do that, I can't see you because I'm streaming in several different places, so I'm not looking at the Facebook. And so definitely let me know that you're here. And if you have not given StreamYard permission to see your contact information, your name, then please go ahead and let me know who you are because otherwise it'll just say Facebook user, YouTube user, whatever that may be. And because lately I've been getting a few people from YouTube. So I've been really, really happy to have some people from different little, whatever the hell they're called. Different little streaming things, okay? That's all I know to say. All right, so it's Sunday morning. It's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And I had to really look through my closet and find something that was green. I thought, oh my gosh, I don't have anything green. And so this is not the St. Patrick's Day green, but maybe some of it is. I don't know. It had enough different greens in there. It's like, I'll wear that to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. All right, so I'm got it streaming and a couple of like I've got a video going over here as well. So hello, and I'm super excited to be here, like I said. And I have the affirmation and the journal prompt pulled up, and I'm so excited to share that. And like I've told you before, sometimes when every day when I get up and I'm getting ready for the day, whether it's a day that I'm working or not working, it doesn't matter. You know how we are with creatures of habit. So I'm getting ready and I will listen to something on somebody I follow on YouTube, or I may listen to a podcast or an audio book. And so that's what I do. I don't turn on the TV or anything like that. That's what feeds my soul, is to be able to do that. I do my morning reading, and that's what I do. A lot of times I try is not the right word. A lot of times I will journal in my journal about the things that I've read or the things that I've listened to, and it just helps me collect my thoughts and get my day started. And so, as I was doing that this morning, there was an affirmation that came to my mind, and so, with the help of good morning, Stacy, glad to see you here. With the help of ChatGPT, it helped me create the journal prompt that went with it, because it was like I thought I had an idea, and so that's what I gave. ChatGPT was my idea of the journal prompt, and so it kind of wrote it out a little bit nicer than what I had. So I will tell you that I did have a little bit of help from ChatGPT to make it a little bit more fluid, I guess, in what it said. And so what I want to do real quick is let me copy and paste this so that I can, let's see here. All right. Well, wait a minute. Okay. All right. I'm going to share the affirmation. All right. So the affirmation for today is: I trust in the timing of my life, guided by divine wisdom. I let go of control. I let go of control, embracing each moment with gratitude and openness. And I know this one's a little bit longer, but it was like the thought was, it wasn't enough to just say, I trust in the timing of life, guided by God, the universe. For me, it's God. For you, it may be the universe. I don't know. And so I just wanted to make sure. So I said divine wisdom, so that you would know that whatever your belief system is, that that would be it, divine wisdom, right? And so the thing is that we spend so much time second guessing what's happening in our life. We want a certain result, and it's like it it's not coming fast enough or not coming in the way that we thought it was. And like I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and she said her and another friend were setting these intentions, and they're going to help each other to retire from their jobs. And so she said within I think she's 2 years, I can't remember the time frame, but that's irrelevant. But within 2 years, that she wanted to sell enough books that she could retire from her 9 to 5. And I said, well, that's great. However, you're putting great limitations on how your everything can arrive. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, you're saying that it has to come from your books. What if it could come from not only your books, but maybe you have like a newsletter that now you charge for? What if you speak, maybe you teach? What if, there's a plethora of things that can come up that enable you to make the money. It doesn't, and some of it you may not even know is a possibility right now. So the better way, in my opinion, to say that is that I trust that in 2 years, I will retire from my 9 to 5 with enough money to support myself and my family with extra left over. And however that shows up is perfect. And I said, that way you're leaving it up to God, the universe, to hand you different things that might be perfect to create that money. And I think a lot of times we do that. We set limitations. And I know I've done it many times before too. So I would say, I want this to happen with this activity, and so we're really limiting ourselves tremendously, or limiting God, the universe, from having other things come up. And so, like, one of the ways I like to explain this is when somebody asks me what I want for Christmas. I don't know, this sounds silly, but I'm going to say it anyway. But when somebody asks me what I want for Christmas, most of the time I'll say, surprise me, because if I tell them something I want, and it's something I want, right? And then I find out later that they had thought about getting me something, and I thought, oh, that would have been amazing. And I didn't even think of that. And so to me, it's the same thing. It's like telling people exactly what you want for your birthday or for Christmas, and find out later that they would have gotten you something that was so much better that it never occurred to you. And so I think that's what we do to God and the universe, is we set these limitations up, when if we had surrendered to and trusted in the guidance, and we just let go, oh, it would have been delicious. But we stagnated the process, or we limited the process. Remember, I've talked many times about we're looking at the world through our own filter, our, so to speak, our glasses that we wear, depending on what's happened to us in the past, or what we've thought of, or what people have told us. And so we're looking through a limited lens, and we can't see all the opportunities around us because we're looking through those same glasses. And so by doing this, you have the ability to take off your glasses and be able to see things from a totally different perspective. And you're just allowing gratitude and openness. And just for a moment, just think about breathing into that. I mean, if you're embracing each moment, you've let control go. You're not trying to control everything. You're just there with gratitude and openness for whatever shows up. Remember, we've talked quite a few times in the past week or two about intuition, and how we can let intuition guide us, because God is that voice within us that that is guiding us if we'll just listen. So I love this affirmation, and I trust in the timing of my life not rushing it, not condemning it because it's not happening fast enough, but letting go of the control. And that just gives you an ease and a flow if you're not trying to control everything, you know? Embracing each moment with gratitude and openness. Ah, doesn't that just feel so much more relaxed? And we spend so much time. I can't speak for you. I can only speak for me. There are times that I'm in a rush to do this and this and this and this, and I have a list, and and there may not be a lot of things on the list, but it's like those are bullet points, and that one thing means that I'm supposed to be doing these other things. It's almost like each thing has these little marks coming off of them, and that means you do this and this and this and this and this. And that's how I've operated for such a long time and sometimes it's exhausting. You get finished with your day and you think, oh my gosh, that's exhausting. But think about it. If you trust that the things that you're doing are guided by divine wisdom. And I know, Stacy, you have really been led to do your TikTok videos, and it is paying off tremendously. I see some of the stuff that you're posting and what's happening with you. And just think about when you trust that that's the thing that you're supposed to do, and you just surrender to the divine wisdom and you let go of the control and you embrace and enjoy with gratitude and openness every single time you create a video. And I know now you're doing the hula hoop thing and you've got people coming in and joining you, and I was thinking maybe I need to get me one of those things. And because I've got a friend that's doing that now, and she told me that she does it every morning because her mother came to visit and her mother had one. And she said she was so impressed with that she got one. And so I've looked at it several times and I still haven't done it. And so maybe this is the timing, maybe that wasn't the right time. Maybe this is the time to go in and check it out and get one. Stacy, if you have a link, send me a link, and I will order through you. And let's just think about it. When we release and we embrace our moments with gratitude and openness, then all the little different things are going to show up for us. We will actually see them, because a lot of times when we are pigeonholed into how we think things are supposed to show up, maybe God sends us a boat or it sends us a helicopter, and we don't take those because we're waiting on something else. And I know you've heard the story, and just really quick, I'll say this for people who may not have, but I don't know anybody that wouldn't have, but it could be. But there's a story of, there's a guy that his house is being flooded, and he begs God, send me an answer, rescue me. And then there's a guy comes by in a little boat floating around, and he sees the guy up on the roof. And he says, hey, let me give you a ride and I'll take you to safety. And he says, no, I'm waiting. And then a helicopter comes and shows up and puts down a rope and says, let me help you. And he says, no, I'm waiting. So he's waiting for God to rescue him. He ends up drowning. He goes to heaven and he says, God, why did you let me drown? He says, I sent you a boat. I sent you a helicopter, and you didn't take either one. And so I think sometimes we forget that we're waiting on something to happen in a certain way, and we're sent different ways to make that happen, yet we don't recognize it as the gift that it is. So embrace each moment with gratitude and openness, and just let you trust the timing of how things are supposed to arrive. All right, so now I'm going to get to the journal prompt. Let me see if I can get it into, here we go. Oh, and before I forget, or while I'm remembering, let me rephrase that. While I'm remembering, make sure that you Get your affirmation and you write it on an index card, on a sticky note. You can put it on your mirror with a chalk pen like I do. And this one is a kind of a long one, but heck, pick out the bits and pieces that really mean something to you and put them up there. Make it a screensaver on your phone. Heck, whatever you need to do to put it in view so that you can see it and you can breathe into it because it's pretty powerful. All right, so let's go now to our journal prompt. All right, our journal prompt is reflect on a moment when life's unexpected turn led you to a better path. And how did this teach you the value of surrender and trust in a higher plan? And anytime I talk about this subject, because I've talked about this quite a lot, I refer back to there's a song, a country song by Garth Brooks, and what the hell is the name of it? I don't remember. However, the song is basically, hold on a second. Now that I've said it, hold on. Help me if you can. But it is, oh hell. Let's see. It is, well, the gist of the thing is that he was pining after this girl and he was so begging God to, make this work out. And and it didn't. Yet he ended up meeting his soulmate. And so it actually was the best thing that could have happened. And so sometimes we're in the mix of something and we want it to work out for that one thing to work out when actually there's something better over here. And I wish I could remember the damn lyrics of that song now that I've talked about it. I'll remember them later, okay? And it's gonna be in my mind, for a while, because normally I can remember the lyrics, but something's going on today. Maybe I'm trusting in the timing and it's not the right time to say them. Okay, I'll just do that. All right. So one of the things that when you are reflecting on a moment when life's unexpected turn led you to a better path. I mean, it's even like you can find that in, when you're going somewhere, maybe, your GPS sends you around a traffic stagnation, right? Maybe it sends you around an accident and then you're not involved in the accident or you're not delayed by the accident. So that happens to us in our lives too. So let's say, we've got these plans for something that we're doing and we're going, like, one of the things I love to do is go to a coffee shop to actually work on things. I'll take my laptop, and my daughter and I do this quite a lot. I'll take a book to read, and it's just getting out of my space of where I'm normally working, and gives you a little bit of a different perspective. And so what if you take a different route to where you're going and you end up seeing, like this happened to me the other day. I was letting intuition guide me. So I was taking different streets to go where I wanted to go than I normally would. And I didn't even know if it would lead me to where I wanted to go, right? And I saw some beautiful places, homes and different things that where I live, I could have went down that street many, many times and I never have. And so it was a street that I'd never traveled. And I saw such beauty, and not only the homes, but the vegetation, the trees that were blooming and all these things. And so it was such a pleasant place, as a pleasant thing to do. And then I ended up going to a different grocery store and I met a woman that was my cashier, that had been a cashier at another location. And we talked and it was just a beautiful time. And so there are so many times that we take a different path, and it's because there's somebody that we're going to talk to that actually it helps us in some way, whether it just helps us that there was a familiar face that I haven't seen in a while. We actually had a great conversation and we talked and it just felt good. And maybe that's what I needed in the moment, was to have someone who recognized me. That normally, you go into a new place that you've never been and nobody recognizes you. But this one, it was like, I walked up and she said, "Hey, I haven't seen you in so long." And it felt good, right? So maybe your path when you're going somewhere is to meet someone. And maybe meeting that someone just randomly gives you a conversation to where it helps you to get clear on something that you're doing or you want to do. And you don't know in the moment. And so it's trusting in the unexpected turn, right? That leads you to a better path. And there's so many times that happens. And even I trust with my intuition. So if I'm driving down the road and something says, "Hey, get in that lane over there," I get in that lane. And that is when I realized that somebody was going to hit me because they all of a sudden just veered over. And I didn't have to worry about it because I had already shifted lanes. So there are things that happen all the time if you trust. And that doesn't mean that I trust all the time, right? Sometimes I second guess things. And that's when I'll realize later, um, I should have trusted. Something happened and it wasn't as pleasant as it could have been because I didn't trust. And so look at this journal prompt, and I want you to write this in your journal with the date. And I want you to, or if you have a notebook that you write in, make sure you put the date on it. Put your journal prompt and your affirmation there so that they go together and you can look back at them at different times. And just reflect on a moment when life's unexpected turn led you to a better path. And you can, if you're like me, you can probably look back at a lot of moments. So I invite you to just brain dump whatever is showing up for you and just put it there. Let it flow. And remember, if you're writing with your hand, the flow is more effective because there's something about the connection to your hand and your brain that allows your thoughts to come out in the written word. And you can retain information better if you're writing with the written word. But man, oh man, will it let things flow out of you if you let it. So, what I like to do a lot of times before I will start my journal, when I have this journal prompt, is I will take just a few moments to be in silence. And I know sometimes silence doesn't feel comfortable, and that's okay. Sometimes we get some of our biggest growth from discomfort, right? And so take just a few moments, even if it's only like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever feels comfortable or slightly comfortable for you. Or maybe it's not comfort, maybe it's what you have time for. Okay, let's put it that way. Sit in silence, and that means nothing. And so, what you do a lot of times is your brain will start to wander off to all kinds of things, and that's okay. But bring it back to when you notice that it's going everywhere, bring it back to listening to your breath. Or I like to bring it back to listening to sounds. So I will listen to sounds like the ceiling fan, or I have a copper bowl that's a little down the hallway and it has these little copper chimes, and there's these chimes that go around in water, and as they hit, it's like ding ding, and I will hear those in the distance. Maybe you hear somebody outside, maybe there's a dog barking in the distance, but just connect to the different sounds. And so you're not really having all these amazing thoughts, you're not having distracted thoughts, you're just noticing sounds. And then silence. When you notice the thoughts again, you go back to logging what are these sounds that you hear. And that just helps you to get outside of your mind, of your everyday anxiety thoughts that are going on. And then after, when you're, make sure you set a timer. I mean, a lot of times I like to say we can set a mental timer. However, when you're first starting doing that, a minute is going to feel like five. So this comes over time that you can automatically know when it's time to stop, right? But in the beginning, set a timer and just sit in silence And then when you come out of the silence, immediately read your journal prompt and then just write down whatever comes up. And you're going to be really surprised when you quiet your mind and you tune in to the silence, then your brain and your hand can just really flow thoughts that wouldn't have come to you before. And so I invite you today to really play with this a little bit. And, maybe do this more than once today if you have the time. And sometimes it's important to realize that you make the time for the things that are important for you, right? And so it's important to recognize and reflect on the moment when life's unexpected turn led you to a better path. Because when you can recognize those things, and especially if you have a list and there's a lot of them, then it enables you to see the value in surrendering and trust. All right. So you have an amazing, blessed day. And a quick reminder, I just almost forgot. Our live tomorrow in the group, Make Lasting Change, is at 2 p.m. Eastern instead of 9 a.m. Eastern. There was votes in the group, and that was the census that the majority of people wanted to switch it to 2 p.m. So it has been switched. It is 2 p.m. tomorrow, and I will really have to concentrate in the morning when I get up to remember to go live at 2 instead of 9, and because I am a creature of habit. And so I promise you, if I end up going live at 9, it'll be an affirmation and a journal prompt. So we'll see what happens. And I wanted to remind you that I've got some amazing guests coming up that are going to be, off the chain with what they add as value to the group. And remember, this is the group Make Lasting Change. That's the main group that I'm feeding this out to different locations, streaming out. And so anybody that would like to be part of the group, because it's an amazing community. And I noticed yesterday and this morning that people have really been popping in with some different things, and we'll be celebrating all of that tomorrow. And then one of the really cool things is the next guest that I've got coming up. She is offered to do a one-on-one coaching session when she's going live. And that person that gets to win that session is going to be just someone in the Make Lasting Change group. And it is going to be powerful. What she helps people do, and I don't have all my notes in front of me, but it's almost like it's feng shui on steroids. She helps you to see where your energy is and how the energy of your space can be cleared up to help you to reach your goals. Powerful stuff. And so one lucky person in the group Making Lasting Change, and I'm going to be sharing with them how to get in the running to win this one-to-one session. But if it sounds like something you would like to be in the running for, make sure that you attempt to join Make Lasting Change. And it's really easy. All you have to do is go to VickyPoole.com. That's VICKIEPOOLE.com. And then there will be some questions questions that will come up that you have to ask. You have to answer. And so make sure you answer those questions. There's not many of them, and it's not that much that you have to think about. However, this is a hard, fast rule. Only the people who answered the questions are allowed into the group. And the purpose for that is this is an amazing community. And people are really good about going in and offering suggestions and helping each other and showing up. And we want people in the group that are going to contribute. And if you don't even take the time to answer the questions, to me, that's an indicator that you're not going to be a contributor to the community. And we only want people who are going to contribute and participate. And so If you know that you would like to be part of the group and that you will contribute and participate in the things that are going on, then you are so welcome. Answer the questions and be part of the group. And I will be checking later today and first thing in the morning to add all the people that have asked today and tomorrow to be part of the group, so that you'll be in there and you will be able to be part of our celebration at 2 p.m. Eastern. Because I love celebrating the fact that some people are in there and they're really enjoying being part of the group. And one of our goals every day is to go in and share our hashtag peachy vibes, which is our self-care for the day. And self-care can be so many amazingly different things. And that's what I love to see, is what people are doing for self-care. Yesterday, I shared that my self-care for yesterday was that I took the time. It was a beautiful day, and I went and sat outside, and I had a tray with my book on it. I had my decaf tea, and I had my water, and I was listening to the wind chimes, and the wind was blowing, and it was magnificent. That was my self-care. And so then other people came in and chimed on their self-care. So it is an amazingly beautiful thing to be able to allow people and encourage people to share and expand on what self-care can be, right? All right. So you have an amazingly blessed day. And remember your affirmation on your index cards, your journal prompt, your journal prompt, your I was getting distracted. I looked over here. Your affirmation, put it on your index cards, your sticky notes, your mirror, your screensaver on your phone, a piece of paper that's hanging on your refrigerator. I don't care. Put it somewhere where you see it. And as a reminder, the affirmation is, I trust in the timing of my life, guided by divine wisdom. Let me just share it up here again so I can see it here. Here we go. I trust in the timing of my life, guided by divine wisdom. I let go of control, embracing each moment with gratitude and openness. That feels so good. All right. And now your journal prompt. And remember, put that in your journal. Make sure you put the date. So when you look back later, you can see what was showing up then. And then you can do it again and see how many things have changed, that all the different paths that you were led to go unexpectedly, and how those turned out. It's going to be so delicious to see how many things have shown up from the day to day when you wrote this out to in 3 months, 6 months, whenever it is you revisit it. You're going to be so delighted with how many things show up for you. Oh, now I remember, it was in the lyrics to that song. It was, thank God for unanswered prayers. That's the little thing that I was trying to remember earlier. I knew it would pop in at some point, but that Garth Brooks song, that is the phrase that, to me, it's beautiful, because there's so many times we pray for an outcome and it doesn't come, and we think, oh my gosh, why in the world? Why God? Why God? And then we find out that, what came after that? Delicious, right? So thank God for unanswered prayers. We do not know the path that is ahead of us by making that different direction, right? I love it. All right. So your affirmation again, your journal prompt. Sorry, your journal prompt. I'm so distracted. I got this camera going over here, and I just, because I know it's in my peripheral vision. All right. So your journal prompt today is, reflect on a moment when life's unexpected turn led you to a better path. And how did that teach you the value of surrender and trust in a higher plan? I can't wait to hear if you want to use this as part of your self-care for the day. Then I would love to see what you've come up with in your post in the group. And remember, if you want to be part of the group, go to vickypoole.com, VICKIEPOOLE.com, and we will celebrate you being in the group tomorrow. All right. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern in the group. Make lasting change. It's going to be amazing. All right. Almost forgot. For those of you who watch the replay, I want you to put hashtag replay so that I know that you came in later and watched it. And then I want you to make sure that you go in and do your hashtag peachy vibes and share a post with what you are doing for your self-care today. All right. Mwah.